Amber Heard discusses Aquaman 2's release amid controversy. Following Warner Bros. Box office struggles, Amber Heard has spoken on her aspirations for the DC Universe's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Aquaman 2 is the sequel to the financially successful Jason Momoa-led Aquaman, and the penultimate picture in the previous DC slate, set for release on December 20th. However, if the studio wanted to end its previous chapter on a strong note, Black Adam, Shazam, The Flash and Fury of the Gods both suggest otherwise. Amber Heard, the star of Aquaman, is also receiving backlash ahead of her reappearance owing to a public defamation lawsuit she lost against her ex-husband, Johnny Depp. In talking about her next film and hopes for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom despite DC's latest string of superhero flops, Amber Heard acknowledged to Deadline, "There's a ton of pressure on these big franchise movies and compromises are part of making the movie the most successful thing it can be. Oh, of course, these are very different kinds of projects representing two very different ends of the spectrum in my industry. There's a ton of pressure on these big franchise movies, with millions and millions of dollars at stake, and compromises are part of trying to make it the most successful thing it can be. Then on the other end of the spectrum is a small indie film like In the Fire, a work of art and work of love, with nowhere near the same resources, and so there are compromises there. The best luck you can have as an actor is to be able to balance both." As for her role as Mera in Aquaman 2, which surprisingly remains in spite of her civil case against Johnny Depp, Heard confessed that she's honored to be part of the franchise. Aquaman, that franchise and the machinery behind it, I'm very honored to be a part of that. And then there are these small passion projects like In the Fire, where I'm proud to have gotten to know the filmmaker and the cast, and we got dirty together to breathe life into this story. There's something cool about that, and I think success is an actor who is able to have both those things. Will Amber Heard's role hurt Aquaman 2? While only time will tell whether Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom can deliver in the wake of recent DCU flops, the public's view of Amber Heard could be a factor in the film's performance. After all, Heard isn't the first controversial DCU star in recent months. Ezra Miller's legal issues leading up to The Flash were equally public, leading some to believe they negatively affected ticket sales. While Miller's situation differs from Heard's, and she plays a supporting character and not a lead, the fact remains that she, like Miller, is a controversial figure and will be difficult to explain, not to mention market to fans. There's also the online conversation on why the studio swiftly nixed Johnny Depp from Fantastic Beasts and recast Henry Cavill's DC role, all the while Heard's presence remains. This is even the more shocking given claims that completely changed the plot and Aquaman 2's own director, James Wan, saying he's been making adjustments all along the way as the DC environment evolves. At the moment, it appears that the studio is betting that Amber Heard's role will not sway audiences. While this is shocking, especially given that the DC Universe's final gasp needs all the aid it can get, it's also worth remembering that Aquaman 2 was shot prior to the actress's legal troubles. Furthermore, her Mera is unlikely to continue into DCU Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. For the time being, it will be intriguing to watch if the aftermath from The Flash will cause the studio to blink.